This is Harry Byars, an NACE member that's got a badge on that says I've been a member for 50 years. When I got out of school as a chemical engineer, I had worked the summer before with a company that hired summer students and put me to work in their corrosion group at their laboratory. Well, somehow or other, it took. As soon as I got out of school, they did have a permanent job for me and I went to work for them. 38 years later in several different job assignments, it was time to retire. But when you retire, there's no way you can retire from corrosion. It stays with you from now on. My wife still tells stories about when we'd be on a vacation somewhere, why her husband was standing there. People would come up and look at something I was taking a picture. Why is your husband taking a picture of that rusty bolt? She just said, because that's what he does for a living. So, you know, it all goes together and it all ends up as part of your life. And I can testify it's been the greatest life I could have had. Somebody directed me and I got in the right industry. I was in oil and gas production. I got in the right end of the industry, that is corrosion and materials. So, and I had a boss, early boss, that insisted that I get involved in committee work, that I get involved in NACE specifically because I was in corrosion. And he says, when you go to a conference like the one we've got here, I don't want you coming back with a list of papers you heard. I want you coming back with a list of committees you sat in on, people that you met. How did you spend your time? And he says, if the time was spent with them over coffee or over a drink at the bar, that's fine, because what you'll get out of NACE that's very, very important to you and the company. Now they call it networking. Then we just called it contacts. You get people that you know and you can call and ask questions because you've worked on the same committees together and what have you. So it's a very, very valuable to you for your future and for us as a company. A lot of people think that if you're involved with lab work, you're going to be doing research. There's a lot of lab work that's done in connection with NACE that is, well, it depends on how you define research. If you're like one boss I had that says, if you got to look it up in a book, it's research. If you can tell about it from experience, then it's engineering. Now, that's not quite true. That's not 100% true, but there's a lot to it. You can have a career in NACE and the field of corrosion without having any research experience as such. Although I'm not knocking research experience. We've got a lot of people in this organization and we've got a whole research branch. We've got a lot of people in this organization that are very good at research. But you can also work in what some people would call the everyday world of corrosion control. In research and in NACE, there's a division that deals with research. There are committees that deal with research. I was doing technical service, rather, from the beginning. The lab that I was in was not a research lab. It was we called it at the time technical service lab. We did problem solving for the guys in the field. Did we have clients? Sure we did. Every man in the field then it was called, by that time, it was still Atlantic Richfield. Every guy in the field that had corrosion problems were our potential customers. I got involved and accepted a committee assignment. That's how come I can wear a 50-year pin that says I've been in technical committees 50 years. I'd only been with the company a couple of years, but I was working in East Texas, out of Dallas, and the East Texas area had a very active local section, and my job, my committee assignment, was to let's do a survey of corrosion inhibitors that are being used in the field. So I did that, as it was a one-man committee. That's was very simple to make out questionnaires and so on and so forth and get feedback. So I'd been with the company, I guess, 6 years or less when I turned in my first committee report. From then on, it was Katie bar the door. I ended up moving up through TPC in various assignments. I never did make it to the top because I didn't want that responsibility. I didn't want to be any more than I wanted to be the chairman of Atlantic Richfield when I worked for them. But I had a good career. I met all kinds of people. A lot of them I've seen again at this meeting, people that have been around a long time, and people that are involved in various areas. Once you get involved in NACE and its committee work and the people that are involved, you'll find it's the finest group of people you'll run into anywhere as far as working with them is concerned. You develop friendships that when you know you're going to, well, let's say a meeting in Houston like this one, you know that there's going to be some people there that you know. Well, not only do you look forward, not only do you expect to see them there, but you look forward to seeing them there because they're longtime friends, they're longtime compadres. You've worked on a lot of things together over the years. So it's a great organization from that standpoint.